Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is Benjamin, and welcome to probably the final video in our 2D hack and slash series. This has been a great series. I've really enjoyed making it, and I'm pretty proud of how it's turned out. There are definitely still flaws with it. It's not perfect, but it's really difficult to make tutorial series this long and make it perfect. But I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I think people will be able to learn a lot from it and kind of help jumpstart their journey with GameMaker Studio 2. So this is going to be my last plug, but if you have done this series and enjoyed it and you would like to support it, there will be links in the description where you can support me and my work. I really appreciate all the support that I've received so far. You guys make it possible for me to do this kind of stuff full time and make courses and tutorial videos and to be able to work on games and learn myself. And I just really appreciate that. It's been the best thing that has ever happened to me in my career. So I'm very, very grateful. Let's get started. So the last thing we're going to do in this video is we're going to set up our game over screen and put in a Highscore system. We'll use a simple INI file for saving and loading to save and load our Highscore. So the first thing we need to do is import in this game over background that I drew. So bring this into sprites, close out of here, and then we'll need to create a new room. So come into here, and I'm actually going to duplicate the first room. Duplicate, and then I'm just going to set the size. Well, you know, that's a little more work than it's worth, actually. Sometimes it can be beneficial to duplicate a room, but we're just gonna create a room. We'll name this one Room Game Over. Do we do a space or not? That has a space, so we're doing a space. Or an underscore, I mean. And for our background, we'll set the sprite of that. And then obviously this room is not the correct size. We'll do 320 by 180. Now we've got the correct size. And then we need to, do we need a view? I don't know if we actually need a view for this room. So we're not going to have one. Okay, we're going to create a new object, and we'll call this one O underscore Highscore. Add a draw event. And with our HUD, we're using a draw GUI event actually. So we might want to do that same thing. Let's change it. It doesn't matter in this case, but I think I'm just going to do draw GUI to be consistent between the two. And then we just need to draw our kills when we get to the game over screen. So we'll say draw set H align FA center, draw set V align. Well, I don't think we need to set the vertical alignment actually. And then we'll draw some text. So draw text. We'll do our current X position, our current Y position. You could also do like room width divided by 2 and then room height divided by 4 or something like that. That's fine. Then we don't have to worry about where this is placed in the room. And then we want to do kills space plus and this is where things get a little tricky because our skeleton keeps track of the kills, right? But our skeleton is dead now. It no longer knows how many skills there are. So we need to solve this problem. And one of the ways that we can do this is by creating a global variable because global variables are persistent between rooms. And that's not really a bad solution. But the other way that we can do it is by immediately saving to our high score when the player dies, and then loading that in when we display the high score in the final room, the kills and the high score, without creating a global variable. So let's just do that. It's pretty easy to do that. We have our state here where our skeleton is dying, and but inside of our actual hitbox right here, this is where we're actually dealing with the player dying, creating the bones and stuff right here. If you remember, basically we check to see if we're the player, and if the player's health is less than 0, we create the bones and do all this stuff in here. So this is where we're actually going to handle this. So right here we will say, oops, why is my tabbing off? Isn't this off? What the heck? It looks like it's off. We fix these. There we go. I think that fixed it. Okay, so inside of here, right here, inside of the if HP is less than or equal to 0, right here we can save our score. So we can say ini open, and we pass in a file name, so we'll just call it save.ini like this. And we'll do ini write real, and we'll do right here we need a section, which will be under scores. We'll need a key, which will be kills, and then we'll need a value, which will just be other.kills. So we'll get the player's kills, and that writes this information to this ini file. Then we can say var high score equals ini read real, and this will read information from it. Section scores value or key, we'll do high score, and then here at the end we need to give it a default value. We'll say a default value of 0. That basically means if you don't find anything, if you don't find a high score, then just return 0, so we have a default value. Then we can say if other.kills is greater than high score, then we'll say ini write real scores high score, and make sure you use the same capital, make sure you spell these the same and have the same casing, uppercase and lowercase. And then the value will be other.kills. So we're always going to save our kills as our number here. But we're only going to save our high score if the high score value that we read out of here is less than our kills. So basically we'll update our high score. Then at the very end of this we need to do ini close to close the file. And there you go. So now what we can do from here is when we come into our high score right here, when we're drawing it, we don't want to get it the whole time. We'll just get it in a create event. So we'll say var, or we'll just say kills equal, well, first we need to open the file. So ini open, same name, so save.ini, and then we'll say kills equals INI read real. So we need to read the information. Our section is going to be scores. Our key is going to be kills. And our default is going to be 0. So if we can't find anything, then it will just be 0. Then we'll say Highscore equals INI read real scores Highscore right here. And then default will be 0 for this as well. So then INI close. And we only do this in the create event because we don't need to open the file every single frame in the draw event right here. So then we can do kills plus string kills right here. And that should draw our text. And then and then from there we can do draw text room width divided by 2, room height divided by 4, and then we'll add something to this, like maybe 16 or something. And then this will be Highscore, and then we'll do plus string Highscore, like that. And you can see it right here, pretty much done, all looking good. And now we just need to put that inside of our game over room right here. Just drag that Highscore object into here on the instances layer. There we go. And we need to send our game to the game over screen after we've died. And the way that I ended up doing this previously is inside of the bone object, I set an alarm for when it's created. So we have, where's our bones? Right, let's see. Where is it? Where are the bones? Here we go. In the bones, in their create event, I just said alarm 0 equals something like 60. So like maybe 1 second. Then add an alarm right here, alarm 0. And then we just say room, go to r underscore game over. Let's try this. Let's see if this actually works. And when we'll run the game, get maybe 1 kill and then die. There we go. So we got 1 kill, and oh, I got 2 kills somehow. Not sure how. But there we go, 2 kills, high score of 2. And we might want to subtract a little bit more from what we actually did so that it's a little bit higher up in the room. So like, I don't know, divided by 4.5. Like, where does that put us? Why did we have 2 kills though? Even though we only killed 1 enemy. Oh, because it's still adding kills every time we hit the enemy when they're dead. So we need to fix that for sure. Because it allows us to get our kills up higher. That looks like it put it lower, doesn't it? So maybe divided by 5. It seemed like that was lower than the other one. There, I got 3 kills this time by cheating. Then we'll die here. So our high score should be 3 now. And that looks higher, but it's still not high enough. I'm going to do divided by 6. Because I think it'll look better just up higher like that. Okay, let's fix our glitch. It's good that we saw that now. That we have a glitch. Although we should see, I want to make sure that our high score works between playthroughs. So let's just die here because we have 0 kills. And let's see if our high score... Oh goodness, we just died. Yeah, so it still saved our high score because it's saving it to the INI file. And I can actually show you what the INI file looks like. Let me come into my computer here. Local disk, users, my user, and then you go to app data. So this is the folder that you need to be to. It's a hidden folder, so you have to actually type it into the thing up here. And then once you've done that, you can come into local, and you should see it up here somewhere, I think. Grave right here. And here's our save.ini. And you can see what this looks like. See, this is our scores section. And then we have kills right here that we've saved this number to, which is 0 kills. Because that was the amount of kills that we had last game. We didn't get any kills. And then our high score, which was 3 kills. So you can see exactly what this looks like, and that's helpful when you're trying to debug your saving and loading. So now let's fix it so that when we hit an enemy, it doesn't actually add to our score unless they're not in the death state, basically. So, and other HP is less than or equal to 0, and this is starting to get a little bit weird here, but other.state does not equal death. That way we only get score when we hit them, basically with the killing blow, obviously, which is what we want. Let's make sure that works. Yep, now we can no longer farm our score. Get out of here. Although it looked like it farmed the score with him, didn't it? Didn't it? How are we at 4 kills? Let's double check and make sure that that's working. 1 kill. Maybe there's a crow or something. It doesn't seem like it farmed him. We've killed 4 enemies and we've got 4 kills, so it seems to be working correctly. Oh, nice. I got the double kill on that. So I think it's working now. And you can see as our number gets higher and higher, it moves our level over and adjusts its size basically based on how big the kills are. So if we had tons of kills, it would adjust correctly. Come on. Enemies are sure piling up already. Ouch. Stupid crows. Yeah. And now I'm just playing it again. But it's a fun game. There we go. The final thing that I'm going to show you is how you would export your game. Probably you already know this, but just in case, if this is the first tutorial series you ever did, you can come up to build right here, create executable, and do a package as zip. I do not recommend using an installer. I know it seems like it's professional and stuff if you're new to this, but indie game developers, here comes my hot take or whatever you'd call it. Here comes my opinion on the matter. Indie game developers should never use installers. Should always just be a single runtime executable. People don't want to install your game. Even with Steam, I think you don't set up an installer. You just have an executable that Steam downloads and then runs. So just do package as a zip like this. You can save it to wherever you want. I'm just going to do this to downloads. And then once you've done that, it will export the game. It takes a little while to do it. Then it should open it up, and here it is. Application. And then you can share this with other people. Oh my goodness, why is it in, oh, it just wants to, does it just want to extract it first? Yeah, there we go. It just needed to extract it first and then we're good. Oh, there's one final thing that we should do. Well, now you know how to export it, so that's good. But there's one final thing that we should do on this, which is add a restart button. And I just did this with the R key, and I'll show you how to do this real quick, but make it so that they can restart and try again. So on the Highscore screen, right here, we can just add a new event, do key pressed. We can just do a letter and do the R key, and we can say game restart. And that way, if they die and they want to try again, they can just restart with the R key. And this game should be, it's slightly different than the original, but it's basically the same as the original now. And of course, we got to remove this boss too, because there shouldn't be a boss right at the start. But now I'm just going to die to make sure I can restart. Just take that hit over and over again. Okay, and then press the R key to restart. And everything is reset, kills, level, and everything. So I'm going to save the game. Once again, thank you all so much for watching this series. I hope you enjoyed it and had fun with it. I did. I'm going to point people to this series now if they're interested in GameMaker Studio 2, and I'm going to shift gears and focus a little bit more on Godot and do some more Godot content, because this series is like, 32 videos, 33 videos now? Not sure. So it's a really long series, and but it's all the way done, and I want to make some Godot tutorials and maybe do a series there. We'll see what happens. So, but if you appreciated it and had fun doing it and learned something, I'd really love to get your support. So check out the links in the description. And like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you all later.